How's it going, guys? Mick Ambrose from All About Tech. Welcome to the channel. It's Friday. It's the end of the week for a lot of you, but unfortunately it's the start of the week for me. I go to work today for the whole weekend, so I am now up against it to get some content created for the weekend for you guys. I already know what I'm doing everything about, but it's just a case of time now. So I've got my coffee, I'm sorting it out, I'm leaving in a few hours. So yeah, today's video is, well, to be honest with you, it's not really a video I wanted to make. And it wasn't a video I was expecting to make until I saw it posted, was it last night? Yeah, at some point last night. Obviously, it was a few hours until I actually saw it, but basically, back when we had the problem with that block, which obviously Monero had as well, and then we actually ended up having to soft fork from that block, there was a community member by the name of Knife of Pi 2, most seen on he's on Reddit, on the Electroneum community groups and stuff, and basically he discovered that there was a change needing to place, and then he helped to implement that change. Now, what has happened since then or whatever, like, nobody really knows apart from him and Electroneum. But the reason I'm making this video today is because he's decided to post a picture on a message that Richard Els has sent him in regards to potential work. And hang on, let me get my phone out my pocket. And if I go to this, I'll actually first go on to the Facebook community group that I've seen it on, and that was the original post I saw, and someone's posted, damn, ETN is looking for third party to maintain the blockchain. This guy has been the unofficial ETN dev for a while, but looks like he's done. And whilst it may look that way, I'm now trying to be as unbiased as possible, and I'm looking at both sides here. But if we go to the actual Reddit post, and this is the which it's not even the full message because it just cuts off here, but it says a message supposedly from Richard Els. I'm not going to dispute if it is actually from Richard Els or not. I don't have any reason to believe why it wouldn't be from Richard Els. I mean, Knife of Pi, we all have to commend him for the effort he put in to help fix the problem that Electroneum had. And at the start, he wasn't really appreciated for that, and that's something that I believe. But I'll go on into more detail in a moment as to what my opinions on this is. So, supposedly Richard Els has said, I have a blockchain company in the Ukraine that are putting together a commercial proposal. They work for some of the mega corporates, so they are not cheap, but they might as well be cheaper than you. And I don't mean that offensively. Let me get their rates back first, and I'll come back to you on my return, and we'll work something out. If you'd like to work on the ASIC thing for your own interest, I believe that you're a GPU miner, and you'd be happy to do that bit for the community. And that's all it says. And literally everyone is having a bitch fit about it. When, for a start, this is a private conversation. Like, I shouldn't even be making this video, but I'm making the video just because a lot of people are getting extremely worried about it. And I'm having the opinion that it's this, whatever this conversation is, it's nothing to do with us. I say that like quite hypocritically because I'm now making a video on it. But the reason I'm making this video, guys, is so that you guys are aware, because you're gonna see it. Because it's all over the ETN community Facebook page now. But the fact that for a start, I appreciate everything Knife of Pi has done, but this is just straight up unprofessional. On the flip side, I understand why he'd get pissed off with that part of the message. I mean, that part of the message is kind of, oh yeah, you've helped us, but now we're going to jog on and find someone else to do it cheaper. But then you have to flip it on the other side again. You've got to think, well, Richard Ailes has to find somebody permanently to hire on an official basis. Maybe for, well, not necessarily insurance purposes, but so that they have like an official company or an official team that they go to for their maintenance. I mean, Electroneum are recruiting more and more developers. And he was saying in the live video that one of them can't even start till April. So I don't even, like, for people to say that, oh, they're outsourcing their maintenance to a third-party blockchain, I don't think it's something that they're doing on a permanent basis. They're just trying to get developers in at the moment. And while that isn't like 100% fact, like I'm not 100% sure whether that is the case or not, but from the live Facebook video that Richard put out there for everyone to see, it spoke about how they are recruiting more and more developers, and developers getting out of their contracts and serving their notice period, because good developers are hard to come by. Especially when it comes to blockchain, because it's such a new innovative technology. There's not loads of developers for it. Again, that's my opinion on it. I mean, it's if you think about like data storage and stuff, that's been it's been around for many years now, and people have developed and people have taught. I mean, my college has they're only next year on the level 4 level 5, which is your first 2 years of degree level. They're only just starting blockchain because it's only just hitting the mainstream. I mean, people aren't going to teach about it if it's not a popular thing. So yeah, I imagine coming across developers isn't the easiest task, and this to me looks like a temporary solution. Even if it's not so much a temporary solution, like even if they're working with third-party developers, it's better than winging it and getting it wrong. They're putting procedures and people into place to make sure that the Electroneum blockchain is up and running non-stop. I mean, you got to think about it from the perspective that they are trying to achieve this huge goal of mass adoption, and they need a working blockchain to do that, and they're taking precautions to make sure that it is always up and running. Now, if I received that part of the message, yeah, I'd be a bit ticked off. Of course I would. But if I'm not part of an official dev team for a company or whatever, I could potentially say anything to a team, and there's no real, like, I don't really have like a background for Electroneum to look at to see whether or not the things I say and the work I do is reliable. So I think what Richard Ailes is trying to say here is the fact that he doesn't want to have to rely on someone that they come across in a Telegram chat or a Reddit post. They want things officially done. And turning to Reddit to get someone to help on their blockchain, it's not very professional. I mean, what they could have done is hire Knife of Pi officially. But then if he's just gonna post private conversations online, I mean, it does that is a very untrustworthy thing to do. And this isn't me saying that I don't understand his point of view here, because I understand how that may come across as quite condescending, and as Richard puts it here, that he doesn't mean anything offensively. And he doesn't even talk about how this Ukrainian blockchain company are like just small time. They work for some of the mega corporates. And he doesn't say, and someone posted on the Reddit chat that Richard Ells is just trying to do it as cheaply as possible. But he says in the message they are not cheap, but they might be cheaper than Knife of Pi. And if you're paying somebody for a service, you want to be paying an official person, or you want to seek the services of, say, of another company, or someone that might be self-employed or something that then, if the result of that person's work results in like huge failure and loss of profits and things like that, you then have a leg to stand on if you want to take things basically, if you're letting any random person do work onto your blockchain, then you have no leg to stand on if something excuse my language, if something fucks up on that blockchain. You have no leg to stand on. You've got no legal standpoint. Like, someone could claim to be amazing, and this isn't me talking about Life of Pi, by the way, this is me just generally speaking now. If somebody says, or somebody impresses with like community involvement in helping the blockchain and stuff like that, and then they screw up massively when they're given a bigger responsibility task for the blockchain, and they screw it up massively, if they're not an official company or anything like that, and ETN's just kind of giving them like a cash, hello, do this and we'll give you this, they're not going to have a legal standpoint for it, because there's no legally binding well, I imagine there wouldn't be a legally binding contract for a bit of work to help Electroneum fix that fork issue, fix that block. But what I'm saying is that Richard Ells is trying. It looks to me in this little message picket here, which obviously there's a lot more to this conversation, which obviously Knife of Pi didn't want people to see. He's just interpreted what he wanted people to see. Which, if you're gonna tell the story, tell the whole story. Don't tell only the bit of the story that you like, if that makes sense. And this isn't me grilling on Knife of Pi or anything. I just think that it's not a very professional thing to do, post a private conversation online, and only a little snippet of that conversation. So, my word to you guys, the community now, let me go back into the main screen, because I don't really need this anymore. My message to you guys, the community now, is just don't worry about this. This is absolutely no reason at all for people to be disheartened by Electroneum, just because, I mean, yeah, maybe if I was Richard Ells, I would have said things a bit differently, or maybe I would have held off from saying that at all. But clearly there's been some conversation beforehand which has triggered this response. Whether it's a conversation about money, whether it's a conversation about getting an official role, nobody knows. So people need to I urge people to not worry about it unless either Richard Ells comes up with a response a response to this that's extremely worrying, or Knife of Pi releases something, releases like official facts that are really worrying. But that's not going to happen. This is simply half a message screenshotted and stuck on Reddit, and every Reddit is probably one of the most ruthless like news group chat sort of thing. It's ruthless, and you get opinions coming in from all angles. So yeah, I've looking at both sides of it, and I just wanted to give my conclusion is that it's not something people need to be worrying about. It's not something that people need to be talking about in the long term. This is simply Richard Ells, by my opinion, looking at it, wanting to go down a more official route for the maintenance of their blockchain, rather than going to Reddit users. That's my opinion on it. But I want to know what you guys think. So get commenting down there. I know there'll be a lot of discussion on this. A lot of people supporting Knife of Pi, a lot of people supporting Richard Ells. I'm taking more of like a neutral standpoint, but the long story short is that this conversation should, especially if no decision has been made yet. If no decision has been made yet, people shouldn't be making it public. It's a private conversation that shouldn't be made public yet unless Richard actually decides to go with this company or decides to stick with Knife of Pi. I mean, well, they're not going to stick with Knife of Pi now because he's done this. But no, yeah, it's ludicrous. We shouldn't be having this conversation. It's a bit childish in my opinion. The point of view, not so childish. The execution of posting it online, I believe, is quite childish and it's unprofessional. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Excuse me, my voice is going a little bit. If you like the video, leave it a like. If you love the video, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. It is growing so quickly. Almost at 500 subs. I'm doing another Electroneum giveaway video once I reach 500 subs, just as like a thank you to everyone. But anyway, I'll check you guys out in the next video. Peace out.